Morena. Tēnā koutou I ako hoa. Ko Maikalau, ko Sheila toko whaia, ko Jim toko mātua, ko Wilson toko iwi, no Bury Lancashire aho. Ko TSS Captain Cook toko waka. I tipu au I whakatāne ko Apanui toko kura, ko Kohe toko puke, maunga iti, ko whakatāne toko awa, kei Masterton toko kainga I naiene, ko Access Radio toko whānau. Ke te pehe a koutou. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Yeah. Kei te pai. Well, good morning and welcome to Random Access Memory. I'm going to try and get through quite a number of messages this morning about what's happening in the region, and I have an interview later on with Melissa Booth, who's the communications person for the New Zealand International Film Festival. I've got a thing about that here, which, as you know, has already started in Masterton. So she'll have a few insights and maybe a couple of picks for us. Although, you know, there's something for everybody there. So let's boot on with what I've got here. On Friday, it being Friday when I'm saying this, but you could be watching or listening on Saturday perhaps. Anyway, on Friday, the poetry group are meeting again in the Dannevirke Library at 1 Station Street, Dannevirke. You know, they have a different kind of emphasis each time because it's National Poetry Day, apparently. No, I think it was National Poetry Day last week. Yeah, it was. Anyway, turn up to the Dannevirke Library, 1 Station Street, Dannevirke, and try out a bit of your own poems, have a listen to other people's. Now, the 50 years of Aratoi is continuing. A bunch of talks and exhibitions at Aratoi celebrating the fact that they've been going for 50 years. And let's see, on the 1st, what day is that? I don't even know. What day is it today? I mean, I know it's Friday. Anyway, on the 1st of September, which could well be, it's Saturday. Then Lut Beringa, who's the former Aratoi director and has been the director of the National Gallery, also will be giving a talk about the 1970s era of Aratoi. Are you into needlework and craft? Well, you can drop in to the Featherston Community Centre on Friday from 10 until 12. There's a group of ladies there. They say group of ladies. I don't know if men can go. Just drop in and find out. Ranging in age from the late 40s until the 80s, they enjoy company as they craft. They knit, embroider, crochet, mend, spin, whatever it takes. So they've started out as a group of just 2, and then, you know, as these things catch on, it has done just that, and they have around 18 people who turn up now. They meet on Fridays at the community centre from 10 until 12, have a bit of, just to be together and have a cuppa and enjoy plying their skill. They pay a koha of $2 each, not much, to the community centre for using their wonderful facilities. Now, I mentioned the New Zealand International Film Festival has already started. It began with Mrs. Lowry and Son the other night, but we won't go into that because Melissa will be phoning soon. Jazz in Martinborough. I bet you Alex Nyman on his program, the Jazz Club on Wednesday, has probably already spoken to you about this, but this is on in the Martinborough Town Hall, Texas Street, Martinborough, from Thursday, which was yesterday or the day before yesterday, depending on when you're listening to this, and it goes until Sunday. It's the 9th Spring Festival of Jazz in Martinborough. So you're going to see main acts return to the newly refurbished Martinborough Town Hall. Big band sound is going to test out the new acoustics of the hall. They'd be worth catching. Then you'll really know if it works. Jan Preston is going to share talents and tales of her wild life with pianos, and the Zac Pack will serve up timeless classics from the Great American Songbook. I think Jan Preston's great. Gayleen Preston's sister, actually, the filmmaker. Jan Preston's been playing numerous pianos over the years. She's a great performer. You can also check out 30 plus free gigs held in local cafes, wine bars and restaurants throughout the Martinborough community. Tickets to the feature acts will be on sale at iTicket from the 29th of July. That was Thursday. And you can check out the website for further information. So their website, that'll be the Martinborough iSight website. So if you want to go, it costs you $45 to see the New Zealand School of Music Big Band with Roger Fox as their musical director. Jan Preston, 88 Pianos I Have Known, $55. The Zach Pack, Let's Misbehave, $60. Right, so those are a bunch of things happening on Friday. But wait, there's more happening on Friday. Garden for Life, the document. This is about Helen Dew, isn't it? I think it is. Yep, Helen Dew has grown most of her own fruit and vegetables for over 60 years, and last year she left her quarter-acre slice of paradise for a tiny 400 square metres town section. I don't know, how tiny is that? I find it difficult to visualise, and established an equally productive garden. So she's good at it, and she did landscaping and planting, and eventually she was supplying greens to the Carterton Farmers Market, and she hosted an official opening. So now filmmaker Jane Fletcher recorded the development process of clearing the site, building raised beds, the whole bit, installing the tunnel house, building the potting shed, and she's come up with this doco. So come and join a bunch of people at the Carterton Courthouse from 70, that makes no sense, 7:30. I missed out a whole word. From 7:30 on Friday, and Koha will help to pay for the venue hire. So that's at 7:30 on Friday at the Carterton Courthouse, Garden for Life, the documentary about Helen Dew's garden, and lots of things that are associated with that. April in Paris is on, that's a play, at the Carterton Events Centre. Now, that was written by John Goodber, isn't it? And John Goodber wrote, he was famous for the play about bouncers. It was called Bouncers. Yeah. Anyway, I think they've done that one too over in Carterton. It's at the Carterton Events Centre from Thursday, i.e. yesterday or the day before, and it goes through until Sunday. A little bit about it. Al and Bet are married and live a monochrome life. Feeling down and out with Al's continuing unemployment, the couple squabble about everything from having no hot water to Al's uninspired black and white works of art. Sounds like it gets needly. And Bet's obsession with entering magazine competitions. And then she wins this romantic trip for two to Paris, and their lives take a twist like a French croissant. All right, Bernard Vos and Margaret Jesson are starring in that. So as I say, it's by John Goodber. It's on in the Carterton Events Centre. It's already on in the evening, of course. It's not like they run all the time. Until Sunday, April in Paris. General admission is $20, and you can buy tickets at 0800 Buy Tix. And maybe you can get door sales too, but you never know. It might fill out really quickly. All right, let's have some music. And I thought, since we're going to be talking to Melissa in a while, let's have the Beatles with, well, it's Ringo really, with Act Naturally. It's about being in the movies. Off you go, Ringo.
They're gonna put me in the movies. They're gonna make a big star out of me. We'll make a film about a man that's sad and lonely, and all I gotta do is act naturally. Well, I bet you I'm gonna be a big star. Might win an Oscar, you can't never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star, 'cause I can play the part so well. tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star, 'cause I can play the part so well. Well, I hope you'll come and see me in the movies. Then I'll know that you will plainly see the biggest fool that ever hit the big time. And all I gotta do is act naturally.
Right, Ringo Starr there with the Beatles singing about being in the movies, and Melissa will be phoning quite soon and give us some insights into what's happening with the New Zealand International Film Festival on at Regent 3 from the other day. Just quickly, one thing about Saturday before Melissa phones. I'm picking she's going to phone in about 3 minutes. On Saturday is the North Range Trio. This is a run. Well, it's a number of runs because you can choose which one you're going to go on. At the Woodville Ferry Reserve, which is in Ballins Gorge Road, Woodville. Hey, if Melissa phones, we'll interrupt this, but I'll get back into it later. So it's on Saturday from 6:30 in the morning till 4. So it offers 3 off-road events that cater to everyone's needs. The popular North Range Traverse and Hall Block Humdinger Return, again providing the popular distance options of 25k, that popular distance, and 12.5k respectively. And they also see the return of the Manawatu and Tararua district's only off-road ultra marathon, the 50k Catchment Ultra. What is the 50k Catchment Ultra? It remains the same as in 2018, for those of you who are familiar with it. Starting on the Palmerston north side of the Tararuas at the top of Turitea Road, from where it heads up to South Range Road via a private farm road. It promises to challenge participants with a unique Tararua experience, combining breathtaking hills and equally breathtaking views. Breathtaking being literally the truth. The Catchment Ultra will again offer you a once-a-year opportunity to run along South Range Road, a road not accessible to the public at any other time of the year. Then they got the North Range Traverse, keen on going beyond the half marathon. What? Beyond the half? This is for the... Oh, man. Look no further than the North Range Traverse, a mostly downhill off-road run through the northern Tararua wind farms. The course runs along a combination of hard-packed gravel roads and muddy four-wheel drive tracks. The exposed vistas promise beautiful views, but also potential exposure to some challenging weather. And then the Hall Block Humdinger is the shortest of the distances, but don't let it fool you, it says. The run lives up to its name by challenging participants with a humdinger of an uphill for the first half before you turn around and come screaming back down the hill to the finish. Are you up for it? I think many of you will be. I reckon Veronica will be into that. Veronica, who works here, she runs some serious distances. So if you want to go on the Catchment Ultra, that's going to cost $100. The Catchment Ultra Relay for $55 a person, so that's $110 for the two of you. North Range Traverse, $60. Hall Block Humdinger, $30. Oh, there's the phone, as I predicted. So I'm picking that's Melissa. Are you there?
You are correct.
Great. Well, I look forward to chatting to you about this. The festival's obviously already started here the other night with Mrs. Lowry and Son.
Correct.
Hasn't he cornered the market on English painters, Timothy Spall? Yeah.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't see him as Damien Hirst, though.
Did you see it or no?
No, haven't. So I might have to wait until it comes back on national release, on general release.
Yeah, it might even be playing again, actually. I think most often they play a couple of times. So.
Oh, good. Right, well, I hope to get a chance to see that. It's definitely on my list. But you can't see everything. Have you seen everything? Is that part of your job?
I have seen about 68 films.
Oh, that's a job and a half. Enjoyable, but still a marathon.
Very good job, yeah.
Hey, Melissa. Oh, Melissa, I've cut you off. Hopefully Melissa will try again. That was weird. There she is. She's back. I don't know what happened. But people always say that, and it's bound to be my fault. Phew, there you are. So you've seen many films, obviously. There's something there for everybody. Have you got your own favourites?
Yeah, I guess I loved Marion and Leonard, about Leonard Cohen's, long
So
time
Long
lover.
Marion, yeah.
And yes, of which that song is about, his muse, that was pretty good. I loved A White, White Day, which is an Icelandic drama. It was, that's kind of up my alley.
Anything Scandinavian I tend to be into. I know Iceland isn't quite Scandinavia, but it's related.
Yeah. What else? I didn't see Apocalypse Now, which I'd love to have seen, but...
I don't know if I could manage it again.
I know. Well, my husband saw it and loved it, re-loved it. So, supposedly it's Francis Ford Coppola's last and best.
Yeah.
You never know.
But it put the actors through some ordeals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great story, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know, I make sure I never miss the New Zealand short films.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love also, we've now got the Ngā Whanaunga, the Māori and Pacific section.
Yeah, which is, every bit as strong as the New Zealand best. There's some beautiful work in there, and often you'll see those filmmakers come up and make features in a few years' time. So that's always
right. Yeah, I mean, Aotearoa really represents what with features in there as well. Yeah.
There's a few. There's the Helen Kelly documentary that's coming. And Tony Sartorius, the director's going to be attending for a session in Masterton for that, so that'll be cool. He's really interesting.
That's a bonus, isn't it, to have filmmakers there to give a few insights.
Yeah. And he's great. He not only did he enjoy the process of making the documentary, but he got really on board with the whole social justice kind of thing as well. So
the politics of it, yeah.
You can't help but be caught up in the, in what seems very meaningful and important work. So he got really caught up in that.
I remember a few years back, sorry to interrupt, I was just reminiscing about a film called Fantail, a New Zealand film that I absolutely loved.
Yeah, it's a lovely film. We had a film. We had a film. It's coming out on general release. It was only in a small amount of places for NZIF, but called Bellbird. I guess that's kind of another bird, but it's a beautiful New Zealand film. To see it's a drama set up in Northland on a farm, so that's a pretty special one.
Great.
And then you've got A Seat at the Table, which is a film about the New Zealand wine industry, and how we I guess it's asking the question: are we deserving of a seat at the table with the world's finest filmmakers? So it poses the question, and I think it answers it pretty successfully.
Good.
Yeah.
So there's a huge selection. Do you think the selectors do they try and represent world cinema as widely as they can, or do they just go what's good out there?
Oh, I think they do. Yeah, I think they definitely do both. They comb the world for something that is representative from every corner of the earth, if possible.
Yeah.
And they're also looking to cater to cinephiles.
Yeah.
People that kind of hunt out the kind of weird and wonderful. But I think probably most importantly, they're looking for the kind of content that looks great on a big screen, for whatever reason. Could be a lot of different reasons why that is. But they want people to go into a cinema and watch the films that they're presenting. But
so they can get an experience they can't have just by downloading it and checking it on their computers or watching on their televisions. It's the big screen, watch it with a bunch of people thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, and the sound that a cinema offers you compared to even though we do have great home cinema systems, I think that you just can't compare with that kind of larger screen experience.
And I think we here have got the film festival to thank for the fact that Brent at Regent 3 upgraded so that he could the sound systems and everything to make sure that those films are well heard, well seen, and pristine sound.
Yeah, and I think you have a pretty long. I think it's a couple of weeks in Masterton, which is a nice stretch. I think there's about 4 screenings a day. So you get a pretty. I think there's nearly 40 films that come to Masterton, which is a lot to choose from.
Yeah, and I think every year you chuck in a classic too. You've got Kind Hearts and Coronets this time.
Yeah, and people have been really loving it, and I didn't get to see it, which I'm really bummed about. But I've heard great things about it. People have been really enjoying that, and so that's definitely something to see if you get an opportunity.
I think I'll go just to catch Alec Guinness playing a whole lot of parts, 8 parts or something. Yeah. Men and women.
Yeah. That's not to be missed, right?
And there's a guy from my viewing past in there, Dennis Price, who used to sort of specialise in butlers. He was Jeeves in the original Bertie Wooster series.
Really?
The definitive Jeeves. He was wonderful.
Yeah, that's something to roll out at a dinner party, right?
Yeah.
Jeeves.
Yeah.
Well, we've also got Yves Saint Laurent and Halston, which are 2 different documentaries on very interesting fashion designers.
Yeah.
Kind of a bit of a sneak peek into those men and who they were, which is possibly not quite what they seemed on the outside.
Yeah, you don't have to be a fashion aficionado to enjoy movies like that too.
No, they're definitely more about, along the way you're certainly experiencing and enjoying some of the fashion moments, but they're definitely kind of about these troubled individuals, and like a lot of those stories, just life in the spotlight and how that isn't probably as wonderful as it seems. Yeah.
And cartoon movies too.
Yes. We've got, are we bringing animation now there? I can't remember.
I think so. Look, I'm sure I saw something. It's like animation has come of age as a medium for serious topics as well as, what we tended to think of it in the past. I'm whizzing through. I was sure I saw some animation.
You've got Ruben Brandt.
There we have, yes.
Yeah. That's supposed to be, I have not seen it myself.
An art heist thriller.
Yes. Yeah. Not often do you associate thriller with an animation, right?
Yeah.
But by all accounts, that's supposed to be amazing. We've also got a Ken Loach film, which is, some people are quite partial to him. Definitely not anything to go if you want to feel uplifted by life.
I don't know, because when somebody's making a valuable and important point, that is in itself uplifting.
Yeah, and it's definitely, they call it a social realist drama, which it certainly is. It's certainly touching and it's certainly thought-provoking and reflects, the world as probably a lot of us experience it.
Yeah, because what uplifts people is as varied as the people watching. I watched a movie yesterday, French movie Double Vie, and I remember thinking, there's lengthy conversations about books and literature, and I was excited by them. And I remember thinking, you don't need a car chase to get your your pulse going.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, something a little thought-provoking. There's also For My Father's Kingdom, which has been really well received. It's quite a heartfelt documentary told by a woman who is one of the directors of it. It's about her family and this family trying to understand their father, who is very religious and from Tonga, and trying to understand his what wanting to give his money to the church, and they haven't grown up in Tonga, and so therefore don't quite understand his motivations, and she goes on this journey to try and understand her dad. So and it was very it's a very kind of soulful, important story, I think, for the Tongan community. I went to the premiere in Wellington, and the congregation, as it turned out to be, burst into a song, a hymn, because there were a lot of Tongan people there. And it was, it brought tears to my eyes. It was quite moving, and I think, it's definitely it's a quiet film, but it's really a bit of a tearjerker and really an important family story.
Important exploration too, and I'm pleased that somebody does that on our behalf, because we can get torn wanting to appreciate and understand another culture, but perhaps having aspects of it that we personally disagree with. Why should you be tithing all this money? I was reading an article in the paper recently about rugby league stars who were basically sending all their money back home and living Spartan existences themselves. And it's all very well just to say, that's not right. But to have somebody explore it for you is really useful.
Absolutely. And, I certainly learned something. It was like, wow, okay, I'm not going to be so judgy. There's a lot of integrity in what people are doing and why they're doing it, and making those decisions. So, I think those are, for me, those have been the moments in the festival that I've probably valued the most, is when you kind of get a bit of a shift of opinion, or, you just get to see a different perspective from what you're used to, from your own point of view. So I think that's a great thing that film can do.
Oh, good. Well, you've made my mind up that I definitely want to see that movie.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, definitely. And there's a lovely film that might appeal to the more rural, or even not, people, called The Biggest Little Farm.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful little story about this couple in LA who decided to go and live on a piece of land and become eco-farmers, and just this quite lovely journey, which had a lot of, they experienced a lot of difficulty and a lot of problems thrown their way, but they kind of ended up mostly getting there in the end. But for anyone who's kind of interested in that idea of regenerating the earth and the land that you live on, and recycling everything so it kind of has this beautiful ecosystem, just within itself. Like my kids watched that film and they all really loved it. It's got a lot of animals in it, and but yeah, definitely it made me feel like I should, get some chickens or something.
Yeah, well, that's great. It's instead of just being a kind of lifestyle toy farmer, you're actually trying to do the right thing and experiment with how you can be sustainable and not wreck the land and not wreck the atmosphere and things.
Yeah, and also they wouldn't use pesticides and things. So when they had these massive problems with pests, they had to work out how to deal with that in an eco-friendly way, which was, you were just thinking, wow, they're just going to give in, and then they kind of triumph by using nature, the way nature was supposed to be. You can get this balance. So
Great.
it's definitely inspiring. They had a bit of money behind them, so it's not, kind of like, oh,
Right,
look at it,
yeah.
but, they did have a little bit of help. So,
Okay.
but definitely worth it.
Well, that's one of the great values of the film festival is in, we see so many formulaic Hollywood-style movies where within moments you can predict the arc of the film and you're going to feel bad at about 2/3 the way through and then it's all going to be all right later on,
Yeah.
Yeah. So now a lot of these films come back on general release, so there is a second chance if you miss it, but you never know. They don't always come back to Masterton, so it is best. Get in now, people.
Yeah, definitely. And we don't know. In most cases, we don't know, when or if they'll come out. Sometimes we do, but most of them we actually don't know whether they're going to. And I think, it can often be how well they do perform in the festival. If they've really performed well, then they may come back, or if they, it just depends on a lot of factors. But yeah, if you want to see something, that's always my thing. Even prior to working, it's like, I've got to get in and see that. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume that I'm going to miss out, and that might be something I regret.
That's right. I've raved to people about films that I've seen and said, try and catch this one, and never seen them come back. Although I think I loved a few years back 2 German films. We have this preconception of Germans not being the most hilarious people in the world. And along comes Tony Erdmann, and Look Who's Back.
Yeah.
Hilarious German films with lots to think about too. And I say to people, you got to see that, but catch these things in the festival while you can.
Yeah, well, actually, I think tomorrow night you have La Belle Époque, which is a French rom-com.
Yep. And
that was in Cannes. It wasn't in competition, but it was really well received in Cannes. And I've seen that. We've had that as our opening film in a few centres, and people have loved it. It's a charming, it's the kind of film you just want to go and be in for a bit because it just seems so fun to have the experience. It's really clever and quite an interesting idea about telling a story. So it's definitely, it's a good date film.
Great. All right. Well, I suppose I'd better get on and tell people a few other things that are happening around the place. But this is the flagship event at the moment. Thanks very much for telling us about it.
Yeah, no worries, and lovely to talk to you, and enjoy.
Yep. All right. Now I'm going to play some Jonathan Rickman, a film about a spaceman. I don't know why I thought of that, but that's what I'm going to do. Hey, thank you very much, Melissa.
Okay, thanks. See you later. Bye.
Right, that was... There we are. Melissa telling us, giving us a few hints about what to expect at the film festival. And as I said, here's Jonathan Rickman. Well, come on, Jonathan. You can do
Here come the Martians. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're riding on their Martian bike. And we have to find out right now, what kind of flavor do these Martians like? Here come the Martians, and they're riding on their Martian bike. Well, we have to find out right now, what kind of ice cream do the Martians like? Well, here come the Martians. Why staying in such a cheap hotel? Maybe we should help out the Martians. Looks like the Martians ain't doing too well. Martian time. Well, it's Martian rhyme time. We got a Martian rhymes for Martian time. And the Martians got notebooks in their little hand. Well, they're strangers in this land. Martian time, it's Martian time. Well, here come the Martians. They're trying to fight with rocks and sticks. Don't the Martians know better? Looks like they're up to their same old tricks. Well, here come the Martians. They got notebooks in their hand. What are they trying to write down? I guess they must be strangers in this land. Martian rhyme. Well, Martian time. Well, you got Martian rhymes for Martian time. See, the Martians have notebooks in their little head. See, they're still strangers in this land. Martian time, it's Martian time. Gentlemen, tell them all about it. Martians make. Well, here come the Martians. There are Martian schoolgirls too. Well, I like the Martian schoolgirls, and I hope they like me too. Martian rhyme. It's Martian time. You got the Martian rhymes for Martian time. The Martians have notebooks in their little head because they're strangers in this land. Martian rhyme, it's a Martian time. Me and Curly. Well, here come the Martians. Well, they're baking up a Martian pie. I hope the Martians like me and give some to I. Well, here come the Martians. Well, they're setting up a Kool-Aid stand. Well, where's their financial advisor? Somebody should take him by the head. The Martian rhyme. Martian time. You got a Martian rhyme for Martian time. And the Martians have notebooks in their little hand. They're still strangers in this land. Martian rhyme, it's Martian time.
Jonathan Rickman and the Modern Lovers with Here Come the Martians. You can always expect to be surprised with Jonathan Rickman songs. All right, moving along. We've got Mahi Raranga at the Featherston Community Centre. That's flax weaving, by the way. The tutor is Fire Edith. Saturday. I'm talking about Saturday, 12 until 4, so it's a whole afternoon. It's a class offering students the opportunity to start learning about Raranga, and you'll learn history and Wairarapa tikanga regarding Mahi Raranga and responsibilities related to being kaitiaki of harakeke and pāharakeke, that's flax and flax bushes. This knowledge underpins the fundamental basic techniques of raranga that you'll learn throughout the duration of the year. So get in touch with the Featherston Community Centre if you want to be involved in the Mahi Raranga course. $10 per class. Moving on to Sunday, Wairarapa Word is back. They have monthly talks with writers at the Community Courthouse, at Carterton Community Courthouse, which is just kind of next to the, not just kind of next to the, it is next to the event centre. This Sunday we've got Paddy Richardson. He's a crime writer from Dunedin. Koha is welcome, but just turn up, and maybe sometimes they have an open mic, so you never know. On Monday, the Wairarapa District Health Board are doing a course called the Pōwhiri, Purakau and Motivational Interviewing. Let me just find out if that's a once-off or whether you turn up a number of times. Who knows? Wednesday and Thursday from at 9 o'clock. So it's teaching about the Pōwhiri and obviously Purakau, interviewing with youth, emerging adults and adults. It says paddling and flying to new horizons. So the trainer is Tiffany Pickett. What you'll find out is you'll understand how motivational interviewing practices differ with youth and emerging adults. You will gain knowledge of the Māori worldview and engagement processes of the Pōwhiri and use of Purakau Māori narratives of origin and their relevance to working with youth and emerging adults. There'll be people in many jobs who'll find that very relevant to the work that they do. I'm not going to tell you they've got pages of information about this, but you'll know if that is going to be relevant to you and get in touch. If you register soon, and you can do that by going to Event Finder to book, it'll only cost $368, whereas if you leave it till a bit later, it'll cost you $431. So a whole course about motivational speaking with young people, stuff about the Pōwhiri, Purakau, and many other things. All right. I'm just trying to get through all my pages to see if I've said everything. I think mostly I have, but there's a few things in the Oh, hang on. What have we got here? Yes, we're in time for this. On Saturday, Adventures in Brass, a concert will be happening at the Chanel College Hall. It's the Masterton District Brass Band and the 7th Battalion Army Band. That's at 2 o'clock on Saturday at Chanel. Special guest band, the Masterton Junior Brass Band. Entry is by donation. So Adventures in Brass at the Chanel College Hall on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Shall we go to a bit more music, and then I'll tell you a couple of events that are happening in the Tararua part of the region. Bit of Ricky Lee Jones now. Weasel and the White Boys Cool.
Selling articles of
Ricky Lee Jones. Always been a big fan of hers. Anyway, I've got a couple of things that are happening in the Tararua part of the district you might like to know about. It's in very small font, so I'll have to squint. On the 1st of September, which I believe is Saturday, Evolve Performing Arts Spring Showcase is happening at the Dannevirke Town Hall, the corner of High and McPhee Street. 5 o'clock. $10 for adults, $5 for children. An evening of dance by the pupils of Evolve Performing Arts. On the 2nd, which is Sunday, Active Gym Promotion Week. So not just Sunday, but the whole week at Activate Gym. 25 Gordon Street, Dannevirke. So if you want to get fit for summer, you know, they're saying, hey, come along. From the 3rd to the 10th, 3rd and the 10th of September, art classes for adult learners at the same place, the Dannevirke Town Hall. It's only $5. If you're not very confident at painting perhaps and you want to kind of get into it, get in touch with them. You can phone Elspeth actually, 06 374 5446, 374 5446. But anyway, it's on at 12:30 to 2:30 at the Dannevirke Town Hall, the 3rd, so that's Monday. Also, cooking on a budget for learners at Tararua Reap at the Manawarangi Centre in Gordon Street, Dannevirke, 10 till 12 on the 3rd also, and also on the 17th, so that's Monday. And on the 4th, so that must be Tuesday, creative journaling at also the Manawarangi Centre, 10 Gordon Street, Dannevirke. So express yourself by writing and doing creative journaling. Now, I found one other thing happening in Masterton on Saturday, the 7th of September. All right, it's a whole week away, but it gives you a bit of time. There's going to be a spin-in at the Wairarapa Spinners and Weavers Guild at the Wairarapa College Hall from 10 until 3. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that next week. So really, that's it from me. Enjoy your whole day. You know what? Enjoy your whole life. Why not? I'm going to give it a go. Talk to you again next time. See ya.